December 14th, 1892. A bitter night in Blackwood, a forgotten railway town. Who was the old man boarding the train? And why did no one see him leave? Tonight, we uncover the mystery. Written by Fairy0825.
The Blackwood Express stood waiting, its iron frame
steaming in the frozen night. Only a few passengers boarded, clutching their
coats against the cold. Among them, a frail old man, thin, hunched,
wearing a long, dark overcoat, a tattered scarf, and carrying a small, weathered suitcase.
His pale skin seemed almost gray in the lantern light, and his sunken eyes held a hollow stare.
He walked slowly, every step echoing
against the hollow platform. No one spoke to him. No one seemed to notice his
presence at all, as though he were merely a shadow drifting through the station.
The train whistle pierced the silence, and the old man stepped aboard without a glance back.
Inside the dim carriage, passengers huddled together, whispering against the cold.
The old man sat alone, his suitcase resting at his feet. His hands
trembled slightly as he stared out the frosted window, where only darkness and shifting fog moved past.
The passengers glanced at him uneasily. Some swore the air around him felt colder,
their breaths clouding heavier when he was near. Yet no one dared to move closer, as if some silent rule forbade them.
Half an hour into the journey, the train entered a stretch of woods.
The lamps flickered, and the sound of wheels grinding against the tracks grew louder. The old
man closed his eyes and whispered something under his breath, words no one could understand.
A young woman seated nearby shivered violently. She swore she
felt icy fingers brushing her arm, though no one sat beside her. She looked at the
old man, and his eyes, wide open now, were staring directly into hers.
The woman screamed, but when others looked, the old man had turned away.
Gazing once more at the blackened window, they saw nothing unusual.
Yet the fear on her face told another story.
The conductor entered, demanding calm, but when he counted the passengers,
he froze. His list showed 24 tickets sold, yet
he only saw 23 faces. He looked directly at the old man, and his voice faltered.
The conductor approached, demanding the old man's ticket.
Slowly, the figure raised a trembling hand and placed a faded slip of paper on the table.
The ink was smeared, and the date read, December 14th, 1842, 50 years ago.
Gasps filled the carriage. The conductor dropped the ticket, his face pale.
But when he looked up, the seat where the old man had sat was empty.
Whispers spread like wildfire. Some claimed they had seen his figure still walking the
aisle. Others swore they heard his suitcase dragging softly across the floorboards.
The young woman, pale and trembling, whispered that she still felt his eyes watching her.
She clutched her hands together, praying under her breath as the cold grew unbearable.
Suddenly the lamps extinguished. Darkness swallowed the carriage, broken only by the
sound of footsteps, slow, deliberate, dragging along the aisle.
The train shook violently, the wheels screeching as sparks lit the night outside.
Passengers cried out in panic, but through the chaos, the sound of the suitcase opening echoed louder than anything else.
Inside the suitcase lay nothing but ashes.
And a single pocket watch. Its hands were frozen at midnight.
The ashes lifted into the air, swirling unnaturally, filling the carriage with choking
dust. Passengers coughed and screamed, blinded by the storm of black fragments.
Then shock reigned silence. When the ash settled, the old man stood in the aisle once
more. His eyes were hollow sockets, his skin as gray as the ashes themselves.
He raised his hand, pointing at the conductor. In that instant, the man
collapsed, lifeless, his body slumping to the ground with a dull thud.
The train screeched to a halt in the middle of nowhere.
When the passengers looked again, the old man had vanished, and so had the conductor's body.
When the train finally reached Blackwood Station, investigators found no
trace of the old man, the suitcase, or the conductor. Only a broken
pocket watch remained on the seat, still frozen at midnight.
To this day, locals whisper of the ghostly passenger who boards the
midnight train each December. They say he seeks revenge for a
fire that claimed dozens of lives on that very line 50 years before.
So if you ever ride the midnight train through Blackwood and see a pale old man with a suitcase, do not look into his eyes. You may never get off alive.